Hi everyone, it's Felicia. Welcome back to my channel. Today is a book review. I read a lot. This year right now I'm on book number 31 for the year. Some books I really love, some I really don't. For the most part, I try my hardest to get to the end of the book, even though I may not always be feeling it. I really like to give it a chance. So let's start. The first book I want to tell you about is this one right here. It's The Road by Cormac McCarthy. You can see it is a Pulitzer Prize winner, and I hear it's also a movie. I didn't know that. Anyway, it's a dystopian novel about a father and a son walking through Earth after the so-called end of the world. The book is written from the perspective of the dad, and throughout the entire book he refers to himself as the father, or the man rather, not the father, the man, and his son as the boy. I didn't really care for it because I couldn't connect with a character. When a character doesn't have a name to me, I have a hard time making a connection to that character. I also found parts of it to be, a little bit grotesque. They got really involved in what they had to do to survive, them and the people they'd meet along the road, trying to find civilization. So anyway, I stuck with it. I read the whole thing. I got to the end of the book, and guess what? There was no resolution at the end of this book. So you don't know. Is the world still just ash? Who knows? Did they start to rebuild it? Who knows? I didn't care for it, but you can try it and see if you like it. The next book I want to talk to you about is Silver Linings. As you can see, I got it at Barnes & Noble on the bargain table because I love bargains. It's by Debbie Macomber. So those of you who are huge Hallmark fans like me will love this book because a lot of her books are made for Hallmark movies. They're feel-good books. Everything always has a great happy ending, and if you're just not in the mood to be disturbed or you just need to really feel good about life, you can read one of these books. Anyway, this is set in the Rose Hill Manor. The main character, her husband is killed at war, and she basically has to pick up her life and move forward. So she moves out to the West Coast, she opens a B&B, and she starts to meet people. She meets another guy who she kind of starts to fall in love with, and then he leaves her and doesn't really tell her why he's going. She's very confused and very hurt. And she also meets people that come to her inn that are struggling with life circumstances that have been sent their way. But somehow, going to the inn fixes those things for them. Because like I said, this is like watching a Hallmark movie. My only complaint was I did get to the end of the book. No resolution. We don't know why Mark left. We didn't tell her why he was leaving. And she's still so sad. So I said, what the heck? And I logged onto Amazon, and much to my surprise, the Rose Hill B&B, it's a whole series. So guys, I came to the game late. This is like the next to the last book in the series. So I jumped on there and I ordered the last book because now I'm intrigued and I needed to know what happened. So this is the conclusion to that Rose Hill series, Sweet Tomorrows by Debbie Macomber. I enjoyed it. Again, real feel good. You read it, you'll get closure on all the characters that you met in all the silver linings, and a few new ones pop in here. You find out what happens with Mark. So if you really, like I said, if you like the Hallmark movies and you want to read something that's going to make you feel good, pick some of these up. I just ordered her, she just wrote one for Christmas. I just ordered it to read, maybe end of November after Thanksgiving I'll pick it up. Because who doesn't want to read a feel-good Christmas book at that time? Next book is by Dorothea Benton Frank. It's called Lowcountry Summer. I love to read her books. All of her books are based in the Lowcountry in South Carolina. We actually have a vacation home in South Carolina. So I enjoy reading them because she talks about things and I'm like, oh, I've been there. Oh, I know where that is. Oh, that's cool. So this is the story of two kids. Their mom passes away. They live on a plantation. Their mom's name is Miss Lavinia. And the daughter is Caroline and the son is Trip. They're older. They each have their own homes on the plantation. And this is just the story of their secrets revealed, bonds that are made. A new generation comes to live on Tall Pines Plantation. They basically stumble along and survive and learn how to be a family. It was a good book. I enjoyed it. Like I said, I like all of her books. Next, another Dorothea Benton Frank book, All the Single Ladies. This one I also picked up on the bargain table at Barnes & Noble, and I really liked it. It was about three women who kind of, due to their life circumstances, find each other in their later lives. They're all over 50. They're all single. One of them is living with her grandma. Her name is Miss Trudy, and she is quite a character. And eventually all three of the women have to move into Miss Trudy's beach house due to their unforeseen circumstances again. And their lives all go in different directions, but they form a friendship that lasts them for the rest of their lives. Good book, recommend it. Next, I read The Bookshop at Water's End by Patti Callahan Henry. I had never heard of her, but in one of Dorothea's blogs, she recommended her, so you know I was going to pick it up. This is about Bonnie Blankenship. She's a doctor who grew up in the Lowcountry, moved away, started her career, and then had a little bit of an incident in her practice where she had to leave that job, let's just say. So to find herself, she went back to where she grew up, back to the Lowcountry, stayed in her family's vacation home. And it's really a great story about resilience, about how somebody can suffer through something, find the good in it, and rebuild their life and journey back to a better place. So I really like this author, and I would read her again. Okay, guys, I love this author. This is Linda Castillo, and she writes all of these murder mysteries based in Amish country. I am obsessed for some strange reason with Amish people and their culture and how they live. It's weird, right? It's really weird, but I am. So anyway, in each of these books, somebody dies. In this case, poor Mary Plank ends up dead, and her entire family ends up dead, right along with her. There's one survivor. It's her brother Aaron, who has left the fold, so he immediately becomes the first person they think is guilty. But all of these books take some crazy, crazy twists and turns, and you think you know who done it. And in the end, you just go, wow, that was really a brilliant turn of events. So I love her. I read her voraciously. I recommend this highly. Okay, where are my Ruth Ware fans? This was her latest one, The Lion Game. I read The Woman in Cabin 10, loved it. I read In a Dark, Dark Wood, loved it. This one, not so much. The whole time I was reading it, I was like, this is totally what happened here. I know who the killer is. I know what happened. It's about three girls who meet each other at a boarding school, and they basically just lie to anybody that they come in contact with, but it ends up getting them in a lot of trouble. And you really are going through the whole book thinking there's going to be this great plot twist, because in her two previous books there really was. And I just feel like this could have been done so much better, and I was disappointed. But I really love her, so I would totally read any other book that she wrote. I think everybody deserves a chance to write a book that your fans aren't going to love. I didn't love this one. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Thanks everyone for hanging out for that book review. I just wanted to share this little nerdy fact with you about myself. This is my book journal, and anytime I read a book, I write it down. There's all kinds of books in here. I do it by the month, and I number it, and I put the title and the author and a little blurb and what I thought about it, and it helps me to keep track of how many books I read in a year, and it helps me also to remember the books that I read because I'm old. And sometimes I go to the store to buy a book and I'm like, I could have read that. I can't remember. So guess what I have to do? Get out my trusty little book journal. So anyway, if you like this book review, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. Have a great week. I'll see you next week.